Hello, everybody. I am going to do the last video today. I was just wrapping up my day and I thought I would put together this quick video for you to round out today's videos, which is focused on what you should be thinking about or putting in place 3 weeks before the exam, because starting tomorrow, Tuesday, 3 weeks from tomorrow will be your first day of the exam. So this will be the health and wellness aspect of it. So what I did was, um, if you go back to watch the videos, or if you had attended the Saturday session, then the talk was about the overall picture. And then I know some of you had questions about what you need to prioritize as far as specific substantive law. And then I did that video. Then actually there were two videos, so you could go back and look at both of them. One was to talk about what to prioritize to study substantive law wise. And then a second video was to specifically narrow it down to the MBE subjects tested on the MBE, so you can narrow your focus down even more. And so this video, as I'm wrapping up my day, like I said, I wanted to just put this video to narrow down your health and wellness, your mindset and wellness in general, physical and mental health wellness. What part of that should you be prioritizing? And I think that the quality sleep should be what you should be prioritizing for that part of your preparation. Um, and I've talked before about getting into a good sleep routine or just getting into a routine in general. But at this point, if you're not already in some sort of a really steady routine, you don't need to try to change things up. But try to, from now until the exam day, as I mentioned in that overview video session, that we want to, as much as we can, get into a routine now so that you can feel a little more natural moving into that day. And so generally, as I mentioned before, you don't need to be getting perfect sleep every day, but at least 80% of the time, if you're able to get some quality sleep, that can help. And I know that a lot of you are cramming around this time from now until the exam, and it's okay to do that, but try to 80% of the time get some good sleep so you can rejuvenate yourself. So, I watched a video and I'll put a link in there. I'll try to remember to put a link in there with a professor of at Stanford that had a really good video talking about the importance of getting good quality sleep and getting natural light within 1 hour of waking up. So something that you should try to do is when you get up, you need to get some sort of natural light exposure to align your circadian rhythm and to anchor what's called the cortisol pulse, which regulates your sleep and waking up patterns. The video is just wonderful. And like I said, I will link it to you. We've talked about this a little bit when I talked about the getting good quality sleep. And I know I haven't recorded the video about that yet, and I'll try to go back. But we had one session, I think it was the sixth session, for those of you that attended it live, but that session was all about getting the quality sleep. And the reason why the professor talked about the Professor Hoberman is his name, and the reason why he talked about needing to get sunlight into your eyes and your skin is that that indirect sunlight triggers what's called a melanopsin ganglion cells in your eyes, and these are neurons that triggers the hypothalamus in your brain, um, which then releases these wake up signals called peptides to your brain and body, and that sets the timer for the onset of melatonin being released 16 hours later. And you guys probably already know melatonin is the chemical that helps naturally helps you fall asleep. I know some of you probably have taken melatonin before. I think that was one of the things that one of you had mentioned in the live session that you use, and that's helped. In any case, the hypothalamus releases that that chemical that helps regulate that, so that you have the melatonin release at the proper hour for you to start to fall asleep. If you don't get sunlight close to the time you have woken up, then you really have shifted the cortisol release, that cortisol pulse, and you may end up getting into what he calls the cortisol dead zone, which can be a real a signature of depression, anxiety, and difficulty falling asleep, because you get so far to a point, like if you're just in bed until 12 o'clock, that really throws off your circadian rhythm. And I hope that you guys are not staying in bed for that long. I don't think any of you are, but that's why it's important to not just get out of bed, but actually get outside and get some sunlight on your skin as well as in your eyes. Of course, you know, not looking directly at the eye, it's indirect sunlight. And all you need is 5 to 10 minutes to be enough. And doesn't have to be every day, but every day is ideal. But even if you get it every other day, that's still good. The other thing that the hypothalamus does is that it releases the neuromodulator dopamine. And we've heard of dopamine. Dopamine is what we think of as the feel-good chemical, but it's more than that. Professor Doberman says that it actually, the main role of dopamine is to drive to drive motivation, craving, and pursuit. And so for a lot of you that have been saying, I don't feel motivated, I don't know how to get the motivation, I have been lacking motivation. Well, maybe this can help you get that motivation you're looking for. It may be that your body's just not getting that chemical that helps you produce enough of that drive in your body. So keep that in mind and try it. Like I said, just 5 to 10 minutes is enough. I mean, ideally, I think in the summertime where the sun's out, he mentioned getting out there for 30 minutes, three days a week. I can't remember. I apologize. I haven't seen that video. But I, like I said, I will link it so that you guys can, I will send you a link so that you guys can also get it. I'll put it in the link in the YouTube. Okay. Then the other thing is, and we've talked about this, to delay intake of caffeine. Well, actually, we talked about this a little bit. Delay intake of caffeine by 60 to 30 minutes after waking up, or exercise after waking. I think in the Saturday's live session, I had said delay it by 30 to 60 minutes, wait 30 to 60 minutes. And I meant to say, you should wait if you can't wait for an hour, then, wait for 30 minutes at least. But the ideal is to wait 60 to 90 minutes after waking before you get that first caffeine. But even if, I would say, even if you could delay things by 15 minutes, that could be helpful. But the reason why you want to do that is when you first wake up, your body has a lot of adenosine, or it could have, depending on how groggy you are at that time. But that's the chemical that is produced by your brain that increases sleepiness. And so if you have that chemical in your body, you want to have that clear out of your body completely before taking in caffeine, or else that's gonna the adenosine will end up, after the caffeine wears off, then you'll get that adenosine back in it throws off that rhythm in a sense. And the other way to be able to clear out the adenosine is to work out. When you exercise, that chemical gets worked out of your body. And again, I'll put the link in there, and you can also watch it. I would recommend watching it after the exam, but it's very fascinating. And any mistakes I'm putting in here, of course, is I apologize. But if you see any mistakes, then let me know, and we'll make corrections. But that was what I got out of the video, and I listened to it again today just to make sure I remember it the correct way. And then we've talked about this when I did the session on sleep, getting quality sleep. And again, I think that was the live session, the 6th, or it could have even been the 5th session that we did. But you want to avoid caffeine late in the day. In that session, we also mentioned alcohol and nicotine as well. But I think let's just say avoid caffeine late in the day. Caffeine's half-life is approximately 5 hours. It can be up to 5 hours. That's for a healthy individual. So you should stop consuming caffeine 6 hours before going to sleep, to have it get out of your system, to help you sleep better, essentially. The reason why I didn't include alcohol and nicotine here is I would not recommend trying to stop smoking at this time. If you are a smoker, or if you are consuming alcohol and you have it under control, it's just not something that you want to get into. As I've mentioned before, you don't want to be changing too much of your routine, because this is a very big goal you're working towards, and you should just focus on one goal at a time. Even if you have the goal of stopping, you don't want to drink as much, or you don't want to, you want to stop smoking, whatever it is, save that goal until after you finish with this exam. Okay. But the caffeine, because you're focusing on the quality sleep, I think as much as you can, try to wean off of it towards the end of the day, and then delay it as much as you can after waking. Try to distract yourself with doing other things like drinking water. I have talked before, and I probably should have put it in here, but hydrate before caffeinate. So I drink 16 ounces of water every morning right after I wake up before I eat or drink anything else. And so hopefully this can help you get into a good sleep routine so that you can get into a good sleep habit. Make it a habit. There's still 21 days until exam day, and um, you know, that's believed to be how long it takes for you to be able to get good at what you want to be doing as a habit. You know, we'll do a session on habit at a different time, because it can take longer than 21 days. But for our purposes, you've got 21 days. There's enough for you to just get into a good routine for going to sleep at the same time, getting up and around the same time every day. That can set you up for success, because it can ease you into that first day of exam so that it feels more natural. So start going to sleep around the same time that you believe you need to get to bed the night before the exams. And know when you need to wake up in order for you to maintain that natural state, so that you don't have to force yourself to get up earlier than you normally do and be all groggy on that day. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful. And that is the gist of 3 weeks before the exam, things that you should think about and try to put in place as much as you can. And remember that you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be making progress. So don't try to be perfect. Just make as much progress as you can and do the best that you can. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.